Hey everyone, it's good to see you. I'm taking a walk at Fontenelle Forest in Omaha, Nebraska, and what I've decided is I'm kind of sick of the clinical perfection of most modern lenses, all right? And what that means is I'm looking for something a little bit different. And I got the TT Artisan 75mm 1.5 Swirly Bokeh. It's like one of those screw mount lenses. I got an adapter to the GFX, and I'm out to check out whether that 75mm Swirly Bokeh could give me some kind of ethereal, unique looks that I can't really get in other places. You know, just talk about this lens for a second. It's not super heavy, but it's definitely not light. As you can see, it's a little front heavy. Not a big deal at all. You can't really feel it. The focus ring is nice and smooth, and then the aperture ring is in the front, and it's nice and clickable, and it's stiff, but that's good. You can't accidentally change that aperture ring whatsoever. I will say that I hear a little bit of like crankiness. I hear a little bit of dust in when I'm focusing and when I'm changing the aperture, because I live in Nebraska right now and it's crazy dusty, and I could feel that the dust in the world has come into this lens, especially because I'm out on dirt roads and my car is just saturated with dirt and I get out in it. It's the way it is. And $270 lens, I'm not gonna expect to be weather sealed. It is how it is. I also screwed up, and I think I screwed up. And I put this lens, it's a screw mount adapter. I've never had that. I screwed it onto the adapter, and now it does not stop screwing either way, and it won't come off. And I used electrical tape to keep this thing on so it doesn't move at all, but it works fine. It's great. The quality is exactly what I'm looking for. So, hey, it is what it is. Let's just keep shooting with it. I really dig this lens and how it slows me down a little bit. I have to manual focus, and the manual focus rate, the depth of field is razor thin, so you really got to be careful. The combination with one of Fuji's GFX cameras that has a higher megapixel or a higher EVF resolution is also helpful, because then it helps us focus on the details that we want to get, you know, clarity. This thing only has like the center of the frame, like 20%, 30% maybe in focus. Everything else is just blasted off. The sides are messed up, the corners messed up. None of that stuff matters, because that's actually what you buy the lens for. It's gonna look completely different. It's gonna be having a completely different feel than any of the modern lenses that we're using right now. One of the most interesting things about this is right in its name. It's called Swirly Bokeh on the box for a reason. And if you get something that's kind of like, let's say it's 4, 5, 6 feet away, and then you have a background that's fairly close and bright, you're gonna really see this amazing swirly bokeh. And it's really magical. So recently I went to Minnesota and saw the fall colors there. And my goodness, a couple of these images with that swirly bokeh are just stunning. The colors are a little bit different, so the colors coming out of this lens just are different. And so you're not always exactly sure what you're gonna get, which is one of the best parts of using this. It's a little bit of that unexpected fun that arrives in your photographs sometimes. If you can see right here, there's a spot of amazing light right over here. Tons of light streaming through, a couple different colors, and I think we're gonna get some cool shots using the 75mm 1.5 Swirly Bokeh. Let's do it. The center sharpness is fine. It's gonna print well. And that's really all I care about. In my photography, I use a lot of low depth field. And as long as the little piece of meat, right, the little piece of the photo that I want the viewer to really latch onto and really say, oh, that's the photo, right? That's the the subject. It's not just the subject matter, it's the meat of the photograph, right? I'm gonna kind of linger here and then go everywhere else. It does great, as long as whatever you want to be really sharp is in the center. If it's not in the center, it might struggle a little bit, and that's just kind of the way it is. All of the corners are gonna be completely jacked. The sides are gonna be jacked. Anything outside of that 20 and 30% right in the middle are gonna be kind of jacked, and that's life. Okay, so this lens is around a 58, 59 millimeter lens, so if you're talking about full frame terms. And so that's pretty normal. And can you use this lens normally and not get all that swirly background blur? And yeah, you kind of can. You can stop down and get, you know, that swirly background blur goes away, and then it becomes mostly a normal looking photograph. But it's just not nearly as beautiful as the other native GFX lenses, in my opinion, when you're stopping down. We'll do an example right here, and you'll see from, let's do a F1.5 all the way to F16. We'll do some stops in between and check out how they look. More than anything, this thing craves light. So I've got a scene where I've got some ugly stuff, right? Some dead branches kind of hanging down, but I've got this light coming in that's really pretty on the ground. All these leaves are full of that vibrant green. So I think what that's gonna do is if I focus on that and get this scene here, I think what it's gonna do is give me an ethereal quality and make it something that's a little bit more magical, ethereal, undescribable, and add a little bit of a unique quality that you just do not get with other lenses unless you go in later and do some crazy Photoshop stuff. As you can see, there is a little bit of a unique quality to it. It does have some magic to it. The background is so interesting, it's so different. It's just it adds something that I love into my portfolio. For those of you out there that love the old film style images, right? The grain and all that stuff, I think that this lens gets us there, and it allows us to have something that definitely looks retro. The lens is based off an old retro design that was very popular, and I think the lenses are quite expensive. So to get this thing with modern optics and better quality, the old one is great, but the reason why people get the old one is for the unique character of what you get. And I think that for us digital photographers, it adds some randomness and some chaos that you used to get in the film world a little bit sometimes. And it also gives us that old school quality. So when you take a photo, like some of these rustic, abandoned, you know, Americana style photographs, and then you apply something like a film simulation to them, then I think it really does a cool job, a very good job of making our photos look very retro, which I dig. Okay, for this spot, I see some light hitting this wood. Some of these leaves I think look pretty cool. We're gonna put the camera right next to the wood and see what that looks like. But I need a leaf to cheat with to put on the wood. So as you could probably tell, I truly love this lens. It is so much fun to use, and I think I'm gonna sell a lot of these photographs. They're a little bit different, so they're gonna stand out when I send somebody a PDF with some of the images that I maybe select. Then these are gonna be a little bit different, so I won't add a whole bunch into them, but it's gonna make people stop and look a little bit closer, which is pretty awesome. Now, thank you for watching. For those of you who have stayed all the way till the end, thank you. I wanna tell you a little story and kind of let you know about some things going on. And The coolest thing that I have going on recently is that I found a stray cat. Now this stray cat has entered our family's heart in a really crazy way. We've never had a stray cat before. And I remember this guy, his name is Oreo, and we randomly accidentally named him Oreo just to kind of identify who the stray cats in the backyard are, just thinking he was a rando, just a random cat. And you know, then he started getting closer. Pretty soon he started acting crazy and funny, like he was always like rambunctious, and he ran kind of weird, and he was just silly. And he got stuck in a tree once. I had to help him, which was kind of funny, and he let me hold him. And then once he started letting me hold him, he just, that was it. He collapsed into my arms, my son's arms, my wife's arms, and we loved him, but we hated that he was outside. So just recently, we invited him inside. He's been in the basement, and been cuddling with him a ton, and it's been one of the coolest things of my life. I love animals. I love animals more than I could describe. That comes from my mom. Mom, thank you for instilling the love and the idea that animals are worthy to be cared for and to be fought for and to be loved. And I just love it. So one of the real reasons I have not been doing YouTube videos lately has been because I've been spending time with this cat. That's ridiculous, but who cares? I think animals make life better, and this little guy definitely makes my life better, our whole entire family's life better. Until next time, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.
Yep.
Are we gonna try to flip a kitty? Oh. He flipped on his own.